Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Caro and I'm glad you're here. Thank you for spending some time with me today. Okay, so today is part 3 of my little video series on a new way to use embossing folders, and as promised I want to share a few cards with you. The first one I hope looks familiar to you. That is the embossed cardstock that I was so excited about. I liked how the blue and the purple mixed, and so I didn't want to hide anything. Therefore, I chose a large sentiment. It's the fancy things from Altenew and a few hearts as embellishment. So that is really the easiest way to use any kind of background that you like. Simply pop a somewhat large sentiment onto the background. I did this with this one as well, another thing, and a few enamel dots also from Altenew as embellishment. This folder, it's the Hosta folder, also from Altenew, and I wanted to include this card simply because I also have one with the printed background from this same embossing folder. And then here are two cards that made with the Ranunculus embossing folder, again from Altenew. We have the embossed piece of card. I put it on my gel plate that had green paint, and you see all the green in the background and a little bit on the peaks of the flower, and the remainder of the flower was colored with alcohol markers. And here is the print that resulted from putting the embossed cardstock on the gel plate, and the pink that you see in the flower was created with alcohol markers. I didn't want to hide anything really, therefore we have once just a large sentiment, and then here a somewhat smaller sentiment plus a few hearts as embellishment. Then you might remember that I had this embossing folder with birds. This one is from Simon Says Stamp. All of the blue that we see on the embossed cardstock here, it is the debossed side. So all of the blue was created on the gel plate. The red and the green and also the branches, they were colored, yeah, again with alcohol markers. And then here on this card we have the print that was created on the press plate. We again see this light blue, and I enhanced the birds a little bit with some ink blending in a darker blue. I cut out a heart, a large heart from my card, and glued the panel behind it so that both birds were visible. And then here you see now the print that was created using the embossed cardstock, the Hosta embossed cardstock, on my gel plate. So that's the background, nice and green, some bluish green, some yellowish green. And then I decided to pop a large die cut on this. So here is a nice spot for a small sentiment if you wanted to put one on the front of the card. However, I often think that if the sentiment doesn't really add something to the card, then I leave it off and I put it on the inside of the card. Using these backgrounds that we created as a background with die cut on top is of course another option, as you've seen here, and you can see it also here with the brick wall that we created in the first session that I recorded and that you were a part of. On this card we have a stamped sentiment and another butterfly, and that beautiful print that we created together during our first session. I remember distinctly how excited I was to see the different colors on the print. This card features the 3D embossing folder Garden Harmony. It is one from Altenew, and I've used it in 3 different ways on this card. On the left-hand side, we have a light blue debossed panel. It was used for printmaking on the gel plate, and therefore you see the metallic blue-green color in the non-embossed or debossed parts. On the right-hand side, we have the same light blue cardstock. Now it is embossed, and it was also used for printmaking on the gel plate, but then I wrote over it with a brayer with a golden and green golden color. And then finally, we have the cutout heart, and that one features a print of the same folder that was created on the gel plate with green gold metallic acrylic paint. I want to draw your attention to the heart because it is the first example that I'm sharing that shows me using these prints for a die cut. So that is of course another way you can use them, and you can use them to cut out any shape. You can even cut out layering florals or other layering dies. Finally, I will show you a few cards that were created with the prints from the second session or the second video. The first one features this double embossing technique. So we have the brocade that is showing up in the background, but also somewhat in the flowers, and then we have the floral, which is our foregrounded image here. This was printed with purple, and the remaining colors were all ink blended onto the cardstock, so the green, yellow, orange, and pink. And then I just added a sentiment and fine golden frames and called it a day. The second card shows a very similar image, only while the first one here was a print, this one here is the embossed cardstock that I used on the gel plate to create such a print. The embossed cardstock is in a light lilac shade, and so I didn't do much to it after it was used for printmaking. I only added a little bit of shimmer relief paste in enchanted gold to the leaves and to the center of the flowers, and I added a thank you sentiment and called the card complete. On the front of the third card, you see the same image, but now it is the debossed side, and it has been colored on the gel plate in a different purple shade. So you have the purple and the light lilac that complement each other, and I added a little bit of light blue to the centers of the flowers and a light blue sentiment, a few gems, and then I was happy with this card too. You can see that there is a frame, and so a rectangle was cut out of the card front itself. And when you open the card, you can actually see the embossed side of the same image. It is the back side in this case, and I thought that was a nice way to bring the outside in. So feature both sides that result from the process that I have shown in the last video. And finally, we have our ocean theme card. The third technique, if you want to, where I use the same embossing folder to create different patterns, and you see both patterns featured on this card. The larger one on the outside, it has a circle cutout, and so the cutout features the finer print. I added this cute seahorse from Altenew and some aqua plants, as well as a fish, a little bit of embellishment, and a nice sentiment, and I was very happy with this card. So these are all the cards that I have made with my background so far. I hope you liked them. I hope you liked all 3 of the videos and that you're taking your gel plate out and you're playing around and see what you can come up with. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and for going through all 3 videos with me, and I hope to see you again in the very near future. Bye!